Hello everybody, this is your young advisor here, and today I'll be showing y'all how I managed to save $20,000 when I was 18. Currently I'm a financial planning student here in USF in Tampa, and I'm set to graduate this December. I just turned 20 and I have about 5 years of investing experience, so hopefully you guys can take away something from this video. Today I'll be going over the 3 things that helped me reach the 5-figure mark, which eventually turned into $20,000 right before I turned 19. I do want to say before this video starts, I am not licensed, so this is not investment advice. The only certificate I have is the SIE, which gives me general knowledge about the market. Another thing I want to add is this advice is subjective, so for the purpose of this video, I'll be assuming that the viewers come from an average upbringing. Enough talking, let me teach you how to get some money. Number 1 should be obvious, is save, save, save. I started working when I was 16 in 2021 getting $9 an hour, which eventually turned into $14.50 by the time I graduated, but I managed to save over 90% of my check. The hardest thing about being young and finally getting your first few paychecks is that you want to spend it on everything that you see. But the biggest thing you have to realize is you don't have to be spending that money. Especially when there's no rent to be paid, no bills, no expenses. Most of that money should be going back to you. And that 90% should be put into a savings account to save for bigger purchases such as a car or an apartment when you finally move out. The biggest thing you can do with that money is put into a high yield savings account getting about 4 or 5% interest every single year, compared to a normal savings account with your bank getting fractions of a percent, which is basically giving you pennies every single month. One of the biggest things into having money to a high yield savings account is that it beats inflation. Every year inflation is about 2%, so if you have $100 now, next year it'll be about $98 worth. So having that money into an account that gives you about 4 or 5% not only beats inflation, but gives you extra growth. If that wasn't the case, you would still have the same amount of money you put in initially, but when you take it out in the future, it won't be able to buy the same amount of things that you want. That's why we see back then that you could buy a whole loaf of bread for a nickel, which is never gonna happen again because things are always gonna get more and more expensive. At its highest, I had about $10,000 sitting into a high yield savings account getting about 4.5% interest a year, which gave me about $30 or $40 a month just for having into that account. Please keep in mind I was working a fast food job this entire time, getting about $700 every 2 weeks. I managed to save over $1,200 every month with this method. Going into rule number 2, investing your money. Having money into a savings account is great for emergencies, especially when it's getting 4% every year, but having some extra money invested getting even higher returns such as 10%, even 20 or 30% every year is a lot better for your pockets. One of the easiest ways to get into investing is open a Roth IRA account. This allows you to put money into this account and take it out at a future date tax-free, which is amazing because the government always loves having extra money to take. So take advantage of it. With this account, you can invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever it may be, and it will always be tax-free when you take it out. But there are certain stipulations. Normally, if you want to take out the whole balance of the account, you have to be at least 59.5 years old and have that account for more than 5 years. When I first heard that rule, I was devastated because I thought my money was going to be locked up forever. But there are certain rules that you can get away with to have your money today if you would like it. The biggest thing is that all contributions that you put into that account can be withdrawn tax-free without penalty. That being said, if you put up to the $7,000 annual limit into the Roth IRA and you want it all back, you could take it without tax or the 10% early withdrawal penalty, and you can have it all in your hands like nothing ever happened. I do highly advise against that though, because the money you do take out will not be growing at all. So please keep it in as long as you can and you will see the growth over time. And if you're not comfortable picking the stocks yourself, you can pay a little bit more to have an advisor select your portfolio based on your risk and needs. So you won't have to worry about any of that. There are other options available such as the app Acorns, which invests for you. Every time you buy something, it rounds up to the nearest dollar and invests that change into an investment account, which is already pre-allocated in a portfolio that you do not have to pick. It's just based on your risks. I managed to collect over $1,000 just on roundups, and I got profit from that, which I took it out eventually. So use all the resources you guys have. Investing is a whole other headache that I will get into another video. Just know that these are the very basic steps into investing, and there are lots of other options to get higher returns. Now to the third thing you need to know to reach the 5-figure mark is knowing your wants and your needs. It was very hard for me at first because I always wanted the newest pair of shoes, the newest clothing, the newest technology, but now as I'm a little bit older, I'm finally settled down and know exactly what I need and what I want. But please, please, please do not be hard on yourself. You're only young ones, so if you want to spend your money, go ahead, it doesn't matter, but just make sure you do it financially responsibly. And of course, maybe I could have had $30,000 by the time I turned 19, but as long as you're responsible with your money, you will reach your goal. So go ahead, spend it while you can. You're only young ones. And don't forget to put yourself first. Of course, you might be buying stupid things that you probably do not need. I just bought smaller diamond earrings to go with my bigger diamond earrings. Did I need it? Probably not. Do I want it? Yes. But at the same time, I make sure to put the money away when it's needed. So when I need to buy a house, when I need to move, I have that money available. The hardest part about it is knowing what you really want and what you need. So the biggest thing I can tell you is just hold on to the idea for a week or two, and if you still want it by the end of that time frame, go ahead and buy it. You're gonna get the money back. It's not a big deal. And when the time comes, I'm gonna drop $20 on Wingstop with the $1 extra for ranch. So don't forget to treat yourself like I said, but just keep in mind of your goals. Putting all three of those ideas will help you reach your financial goals, as it did for me when I was 18. I still implement those today as a 20-year-old, as I have higher and higher goals I want to reach. You can't run a marathon without running your first mile, so doing that first mile is the hardest part, but once you do it, it'll just get easier and easier, and you'll see your money grow. And that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. I try to keep it nice and concise because I always see videos go for 20 minutes, droning on about the same thing over and over again. Again, if you put those three things to use, you will watch your money grow, as it has worked for me. I want you guys all to be rich 2025, reach your goals, reach whatever you guys want. You guys can do it if you put your mind to it. Thank you guys again.